All right, everybody, here is our pretty quick little overview of this week's objectives for the week of April 27th through May 1st. I'll go ahead and go over both classes, my physics and honors physics class in this video. Honors physics, you're probably used to just skipping ahead to the slide change at this point. Okay, so physics. We have a solid list of to-do things this week. We're going to be continuing on our adventure through CASTLE's Unit 6 on measurable quantities in circuits. The first section of Unit 6 that we finished a quiz on last week went over things like voltage and current and resistance, how we measure those and how they are related to each other. This second part of Unit 6, which we will be going through this week and next week, covers electrical power and how it's related to voltage and current and resistance. We're going to start out with a little introduction activity on the 27th, Monday, which will obviously be due on Tuesday, which I assume is when most of you will do it. But you'll go ahead and do that activity, watch the activity rather, and take some guided notes on that and submit that. The following day, you will do activity C6.6, which is an interesting one that doesn't actually have us use any circuits or simulated circuits. I'll be going through that worksheet with you. It's not very complicated, but I can see it causing some confusion if I tried to let you do it on your own. So I will at least go through some of it with you so that you understand what's going on in a video that'll probably only be about 5 minutes at the most. And then I'll probably let you do the rest of that, but I suppose we'll see exactly what happens tomorrow. Then after that, I'm actually going to supplement this part of the unit with some text and some reading and comprehension quizzes that you'll find on physicsclassroom.com. I will give you those links when you need to have them. And then you'll just make a discussion post similar to how we did it with Khan Academy a couple weeks ago. And then our last activity of this week will be 6.7, which is regarding power output by the battery and power input into the bulbs and whether or not energy is being conserved and those kinds of things. We'll be doing that through we will be doing that using a simulated circuit, and I might play with some of the values like resistance of the wires and resistance of the battery so that we can maybe see a little bit more of a real-life situation, and I'll play around with some of that and use some of that as a teaching tool as well. Okay, Honors Physics, welcome back. We are going to be continuing with Unit 6 of CASTLE. And then we'll continue that briefly into next week when we'll have a quiz on this material next week. Okay, our first activity this week is going to be worksheet C6.2, which is a follow-up and understanding check of last week's activity on ammeters. So we did that activity on Thursday or Friday, depending on when you actually worked on it. Okay, and this is just going to check your understanding of current and how current is flowing through and being conserved in all of the different ways in a circuit. The second thing that we'll do this week is activity C6.3, which actually takes more of a lab sort of take on this that will feel more familiar to the stuff that we were doing last semester, because at this point we actually have these measurement tools for circuits and we have stuff that we can measure. So we'll do a simple lab experiment that explores the relationship between voltage and current. No worries, you do not have to do that all on your own, and you do not have to write a full lab report. I will basically show you the activity like we have been doing, but there is a little bit of stuff that you will have to do on your own as far as working on that. There will be a graph. I want you to graph the data from that lab and answer the questions that are going to be on the Canvas assignment page, which will feel kind of like writing a conclusion to a lab report. Okay, on the 29th, due on the 30th, Thursday, of course, I'm going to supplement the activities in this unit with some Khan Academy videos and quizzes about Ohm's law and Kirchhoff's laws, which are the loop and node rule, or the voltage and current laws. You will watch those videos and take some brief quizzes, and then you'll reply to a discussion board, which is probably something that we've done a couple of times, I think, at this point. The last thing that we'll do this week is going to be worksheet C6.3, which will be somewhat of an understanding check from activity C6.3 on Ohm's law. So most of the questions on that worksheet are going to be mathematical calculations with Ohm's law, although there are quite a few just comprehension and text-based questions as well. All right, guys, have a good week.